So my experts are here, and it's amazing. Joel, expert, audio engineer, and the founder of thegiftedofdance.com.
You're on a roll.
Isn't it amazing? Nick. And Joel, by the way, he black. Nick. Half-breed. Oh, not half-breed, but
Half-breed.
that's all I ever heard.
You can say I'm a half-breed.
I love and hate the word. My mama married a
Half-breed.
Cherokee.
Oh. Whatever.
Same thing.
Cher has a trans son. Doesn't matter.
My dad and people were ashamed of me.
You're forgetting somebody.
The white man said that I was white by law. No. The Indian said that I was white by law. The white man said that I was an Indian squaw.
What song is this?
Half-breed.
Cher.
That's all I ever heard.
It's called
She's on a horse.
Half-breed.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I love and hate the word.
She's on a horse, but all you can pay attention to is her foot just going nuts in that video for some reason. She's just going like.
Did you guys coordinate this? How is Nick so familiar
I'm a
with this
worldly
song
man.
and the video?
I know many things.
I guess so.
He may not know his flowers, but he knows many things. He knows
about
Cher.
and half-breeds.
Half-breed.
I was singing Hezekiah the other Hezekiah. Lord, I'm running, trying to make 100. He's like, how do you know black gospel music? I know things, Jesse.
Amazing.
Very worldly.
He's a half-breed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris,
Skateboard model.
What are you?
I'm white.
He white. I mean, like he's real white.
I'm very white.
He's very white.
Correct.
Even when he speaks, he moves his lips. I'm very white. And so I went down the road, and I just don't understand.
I enunciate.
That's a good impression.
A good impression. So I got to ask. I'll start with Joel first today. Joel, I noticed that the radicals, the American haters, the men haters, the country haters are tearing down statues and around the country. But I don't hear anyone stopping them, any white people saying, no, this ain't going to happen. Are there any white people out there strongly standing up and saying no and not allowing this to happen?
I was just asking this earlier, like where is there any smart people left in the world? I don't know. It just seems like I don't know if it's me just waking up now, so I'm starting to see how much people are not saying something or what it is, but it seems like everywhere you turn it's just weakness. And yeah, that's my Are there any white people saying no, you cannot tear down the statue?
I saw a
We're
video.
not going to let you do it.
I saw a video of this man in the UK, I believe in Brighton, fighting for some statues, and I believe they saved that one. I saw a man, I believe Colin Flaherty is organizing something very soon, but there's so far and few between that it's really sad because what's happening right now is it's an existential battle. It's a battle of your history and of your heritage, and once that's gone, you're next.
And so there's no one in government
Not
or
enough.
the police department
No.
or anywhere saying no and won't let them do it.
Half of Republicans want sweeping changes to the police. Most of the Republicans in the House and the Senate are agreeing with the Democrats to take down Confederate statues, even though the president didn't want them taken down and he also doesn't want any forts renamed. Like
Right. I heard about
Republicans
that. I'm
are going
glad.
against that too.
They're going against that?
As from what I've seen, I believe Breitbart was
Because
reporting
it's
that.
all fake. It's not real. These black people have no problem with statues and things. That's not their issue. But somebody just tearing it down, and I don't hear anyone stopping it. Do you know of any white people, whether in military or UK or Russia or anywhere, saying, no, you can't do it, and stop it, Chris?
as far as the inside the institutions go, I would say it's basically none. Like Nick was saying, there's really no one in the government that's on our side, and any of the other institutions, media, the education system, anything like that. So, other than seeing some sort of like militia or something like that, literally going to these monuments and like defending them with guns. I mean, which I don't know that would happen. It might be unoptical to some degree. It's really we're at level 1 right now of just sharing this information and being like, hey, this is happening in your country. This is what can and will happen after this stuff does happen, and we have to get into the institutions and stop this type of stuff.
So
we're at level 1.
nobody is stopping the destruction of America.
No, it doesn't.
Why don't
seem
they
like
use
that.
the military to stop the stuff?
That's a good idea.
They can post the military.
We should be
supposed to
doing
be
that
apolitical.
stuff. We should be doing that stuff for sure. But again, even the government itself, even
That's what I
though
was gonna say.
even the Republican Party, I mean, it doesn't. The Republican Party, as we know it, like it doesn't really exist anymore. It's not for like what we're actually trying to do.
Joel, is it true that the Navy and the Marine banned the Confederate flag in the past week?
I'm not sure if they banned the Confederate flag. I don't know, but
Did anybody know about that?
This is true. Yeah, the Navy did for sure. I
So-
didn't know about who else.
The Navy and the Marines
I didn't know
banned
that.
the Confederate flag.
I knew about the Navy.
So ain't nobody know where to get any help from then. Ain't nobody nowhere.
well, that's what's scary is that it makes it's scary because the standard is changing. Is that you almost have to be a bad person to be in these positions, and are they going to let good people in? Because the
But they
standards
can't
seem to
let
be
us
changing.
in. We got to get in.
Right. That's what we're saying.
They
We're
ain't
at
gonna let us in.
we're at.
Right.
That's why I say we're at level 1 right now. We're at level 0 because any type of institution with any power or whatever, however you want to describe it, business, education system, any government apparatus, they're just not there. They're either on the offensive, which would mean like they're for this type of stuff, or they're just afraid to speak up and they're just letting
What
it.
are they
They're letting it
that
happen.
afraid of that even the military is afraid of? What? It's just radical black people and radical Antifa. They don't have anything.
I see those crowds too, and I'm thinking like there has to be a counter crowd against them. There
Yeah.
has to be a crowd, and I'm not for like I'm not pushing like violence or anything, but this is turning into like an existential kind of battle, and in those kinds of battles, blood sometimes is shed.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there has to be a opposing force that fights in whatever way that they have to.
Well, it's like
people have
it's
to
like
be
we've
out there.
it's like we've said before that if you're speaking generally about what is some of the problem with like white people in general, they're afraid to lose their stuff. You know how that's
Yeah.
how you generally say.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people in the institutions, in the government apparatus and things like that, the reason they wouldn't speak up is because they're not necessarily afraid of Black Lives Matter,
Right.
or like the Antifa or any of the people actually destroying the statues. They're not afraid of them. What they are afraid of is to speak out against them, and they lose stuff because of it. They can lose their job. The government is basically aligned with big business at this point, and they will lose money.
And so that's why God said, love God with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else. Because you love anything else or anybody else, that can be taken away from you. And if it's too important, you'll sacrifice anything to prevent that from being taken. That is something else, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what's happening right now.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
I know. I know. It's such a shame.
did the word fill in the blank in your head?
It sure did.
No, I'm too Christian.
I have a
I was thinking darned.
Oh, of course. You're
Oh,
so
no.
holy.
I said it the other day.
So, Nick, what do you think about that apology from General Milley? I mean, he sounds
Missing-
just like how that kind of
I
person
was
will run the
sneering,
military.
and I spit on the ground and I sneered like
Were you-
this when I was watching.
Were you seething
I was. I had to pray because they had to like.
for the spirit?
I had
for the
to pray,
spirit to
man,
leave you?
because that was making his apology was the one making the headlines.
Yeah.
But when you go and watch the full thing,
Yeah.
oh, Mister, you gotta watch the whole thing. The clip I gave you is the best I could do to give it short, but
That
it
was
doesn't do
horrible.
it justice. He's talking about genders. He's talking about all the. He's the highest ranking military member. That's why the military's so weak. We're just begging to get taken over.
Right.
You know what
Why would the president? Go ahead, Joel.
I'm just saying what I noticed lately, where I can see where people stand, is the way they talk about what happened with George Floyd.
Yeah.
It's like whatever side they say that they're on, the way they present it and the way they say, is you can tell, where they really stand. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like clear.
So I just want to play. So Milley apologized for being with the president. Oh, I don't want to be political. And right after that, he goes totally political, but on the wrong side. I just want to play for those who didn't hear that part. Here's this guy speaking at a graduation class 2020 to the University of National Defense. Why this man should have been, somebody should have been waiting right there and say, hey, here's your last notice. You're out of here. Watch this, folks. Oh, I'm sorry, 12-2B.
B, yeah.
Okay.
To the graduating class, congratulations. You will all have enormous responsibility to protect our country and its values. We have also seen over the last 2.5 weeks, I am outraged by the senseless and brutal killing of George Floyd. His death amplified the pain, the frustration, and the fear that so many of our
What
fellow
a
Americans live
beta.
with day in and day out. The protests that have ensued not only speak to his killing, but also to the centuries of injustice towards African Americans.
Lies.
What we are seeing is the long shadow of our original sin in Jamestown 401 years ago.
Lies.
Liberated by the Civil War, but not equal in the eyes of the law until 100 years later in 1965. We are still struggling with racism, and we have much work to do.
What a shame.
Racism and discrimination, structural preferences, patterns of mistreatment, unspoken and unconscious bias have no place in America. And we should all be proud that the vast majority of protests have been peaceful. Peaceful protest means that American freedom is working. Millions of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have been part of cohesive teams consisting of people of different races, genders, religions, and orientations, working to accomplish their mission in peace and war all over the globe.
That was a speech of a strong woman. What do you say about that?
It's crazy, man. And when I see that, it's I see a traitor. I see a traitor. He's like the original sin of America. You can have your disagreements and you can say this or that, but when you want to go to original sin, you sound like the enemy. You sound like the children of the lie all the way, and you hate America.
He called George Floyd death a murderer.
Yeah.
What the? What do you think about that, Chris?
I think it's ridiculous. I mean, it's so strange to see people get so affected by, just nothing really. It's just a situation that happened. A guy died. There's nothing more to it than that at all.
This man is the head of the military, Joe. The top dog in the military. He has a dress on already.
That's what I'm saying. The standards have changed. That's the whole thing. But I don't think they realize how much damage is actually doing, especially to the black community, by pandering to them and basically affirming these lies that they believe. There's this video of this little girl crying when she seen this white cop walk up, a lady cop, and she's crying. And it's just like,
Crying about what?
She's just crying because she's seen the white cop because she thinks the white cop is dangerous.
A black girl?
A little black girl.
Oh,
And
Lord.
the white cop
Oh,
walks up to her
Lord.
and tells her, like, you don't have to be afraid of me, you know. I'm not a bad person, but that's just what's being taught.
That white cop should have just given her the finger and said, go sit down.
Child.
I'm telling you.
Ciao, please.
Your mama lied to you.
Where you, daddy?
May, the last thing, Joel, you brought this to my attention that the LA City Council has a woman as president now
Yeah.
of the LA City Council.
She's the president of something of the city.
LA City Council, a Mexican, I think, by the name of Martinez. First name is, what's his first name, James? N-U-R-Y.
N-U-R-Y?
Yeah.
Nudie. Nudie.
N-U-R-Y is what?
Nudie.
Nudie, if it's
Nuri?
Mexican.
Nuri.
It's not nudie. You a Mexican. You know that's not nudie.
No, it's
No, not nudie.
Nuri Martinez.
Yeah.
You would roll the R. Nudie,
That's how you say it, nudie, not Nuri?
if she's
I
Mexican.
think I'm guessing, but I mean, I'm just going with what it feels right.
I stayed up all night to get a nudie.
The vice president is a male. So the vice president male. and
So now the woman
president is
running the
female.
mail in the city council.
Flipped. The whole world's flipped.
Yeah.
But this man that's over the military, don't they have wars in the military? Don't they kill?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They've been known to do that
He's the
How is he
Joint
going to
Chief of-
handle it?
poorly.
He needs to take his dress off
Somebody's
and put on a pantsuit.
Yeah.
Dark
Like
skin.
Hillary.
Then it'll be a strong woman.
Like Hillary.
Yeah. Then they'll definitely be killing people.
blush. Oh, no. I see it now.
My experts, folks, thank you guys very much. My expert, Chris, Nick, and Joel. I got to take a break. We'll open the treasure chest at the bottom of the hour on D-Live. What do you say, Chris?
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, folks. Treasure chest open on D-Live at 8:30. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.